So let's talk about a Hollywood feud that popped off because of a single joke. I mean, one off-the-cuff comment that managed to spark this huge debate about creative integrity and really how Hollywood sometimes treats the very comics it's trying to bring to the big screen.
It all boils down to this one question. Why would a producer, someone in charge, openly make fun of the show he's making? It's the kind of thing that just blew up online, and it put a super high-profile producer against the very fans he needs to show up for this thing.
Okay, so here it is. This is the comment that started the whole firestorm. It's from producer Damon Lindelof talking about the new DC show, Lanterns. In the room, it got some nervous laughter, but online, whoa. The implication was pretty clear, that the most iconic part of Green Lantern, the green, was kind of dumb and embarrassing, and people definitely noticed. Now, this comment didn't just annoy a few fans on social media. No, it drew a really powerful and, honestly, a brilliantly detailed response from an absolute legend in the comic book world. We're talking about Grant Morrison. I mean, if you know comics, you know this name. The guy's a giant. His work on characters like Batman and, yes, Green Lantern is basically foundational for the new DC universe that James Gunn is building. So, when he decides to speak up, the industry tends to listen.
Morrison just cuts right to the chase. He immediately questions the logic of it all. Like, why would you hire someone who seems to think the core concept of what they're adapting is stupid? It's a fantastic question, right? If you don't like it, why are you the one getting paid millions to make it?
And then he frames it as a matter of simple professional respect. He makes this amazing point. You would never hire a writer who hates crime shows to write CSI. So why is it okay in the world of superheroes to hire people who seem to be ashamed of the very comic books they're adapting?
Then he switches gears and hits them with the business side of it. He points out that, look, your most dedicated, your most passionate, your built-in audience from day one is the Green Lantern fans. So from a purely strategic point of view, why on earth would your first big public statement be an insult to them?
And his creative argument is just as sharp. He's saying these specific, colorful words like green aren't silly. They add drama, they add iconography. He brings up the classic movie Raise the Red Lantern. I mean, think about it. If you just call it Raise the Lantern, it loses all its power, right? He says the exact same thing applies here.
So, this is where we zoom out and look at the bigger picture. The argument here is that Lindelof's comment isn't just some one-off joke. It's actually a symptom of a much larger and kind of weird trend in Hollywood. It's this weird need to fix or water down names and ideas that some executive somewhere decides is too comic booky for the mainstream. It feels less like a celebration of the material and more like an apology for it. And trust me, this has happened a bunch of times before. The show Arrow famously dropped the green. In his own series, the Penguin was just called Oz. And if you go way back to the 70s Hulk TV show, they changed Bruce Banner to David Banner because producers thought the name Bruce sounded, and I'm not kidding, too gay. But here's the counter-argument, right? It's that quality is what makes these names iconic. Nobody thinks Superman is a silly name anymore because decades of amazing stories have given it real weight. The idea is you should own the name, not run away from it. So after the backlash from Morrison and pretty much all the fans, you got the classic PR scramble. Lindelof's people said he was just joking, and he eventually admitted the fans are right. But here's the kicker. The name was changed from Green Lantern Corps to just Lanterns. So joke or not, the sentiment seemed to be real somewhere up the chain. And to really get the full context here, you kind of have to look at Damon Lindelof's history with these big, beloved properties.
Now, Lindelof has a track record of tackling huge franchises. It includes the Watchmen series on HBO, which a lot of people loved, but it also includes way more divisive movies like Prometheus and Star Trek Into Darkness, a film that the source we're looking at here just flat out calls the worst Star Trek movie ever made.
So when you boil it all down, this one little joke ended up exposing this huge tension that we see all the time. Is the job to faithfully adapt something, or is it to fix it for what you think a modern audience wants? That joke, whether he meant it to or not, landed right on that fault line. And Morrison's final thought just brings it all home. He frames this as a systemic problem in Hollywood. Creators hiring their friends who might be kind of embarrassed by the material, and you end up with weaker, less confident shows and movies because of it. And that really leaves us with the million-dollar question at the heart of so many adaptations today. And why this matters is because the answer to that question shapes the future of all the stories we grew up with and love. It's the difference between celebrating a legacy and apologizing for it. So where do you draw that line?